Hello, hello, good people. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Life Changing with your girl, Shan. Let's talk more purpose. You already know what it is. Get your book, get your pen. You're going to want it for this one. And definitely do the like, do the share, turn all the notifications on, and do all the things. And we're going to dive right in. I have been telling you about the shifting, and I've been telling you about how to make those necessary adjustments. And this is exactly what that is. Your process, the purpose is a process. You have to walk it out. It does not all come glamorous in one box and given to you and saying, here you go. Now, there you go, work it out. It is not like that. It is a process. It is daily being intentional about keeping your purpose in front of you. And if anybody can be transparent and true, it's going to be your girl Shan, because I definitely am telling you, I'm walking this thing out, and he is totally navigating this thing. And it is not what it looked like when I wrote it down. Okay. I wrote the vision down. I made it plain, but baby, it is not what God says. His provision is greater. His plan is greater, and he is more intentional than I and you can ever be a part of anything. So I'm excited to have my big sister. I'm just going to go ahead and gravitate to that. And I'm going to go say my big sister, Dr. Taijiri Brackens, is in the building. And let me tell you, ironically, we have been in more places than one. This is not our first time meeting, but God has not allowed us to have a sit down one-on-one because we've been that busy. Because guess what we do? We walk in the room, we're doing what we're doing, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're working our assignments. And so today is our time to sit at the table with Life Changing with CoaCHan, because let me tell you, I really am living out that title. Life does change, okay? And you got to be ready for the change. Let me tell you about Dr. Taijiri. She is the workplace wizard. I'm so excited, and I'm ready to know more about that. She is the award-winning retention strategist and leadership transformation expert, guiding overlooked leaders. Ooh, Lord, overlooked leaders, especially the Dorothys. Come on. I don't know if y'all ever watched it. I know that's the background of it, right? That's common sense for the Wizard of Oz. Duh, it's right behind her. For those of you that are not looking at it, for all the Dorothys, I'm a Dorothy. Out of toxic workplace and into their full leadership power. Yes. Within 33 years in sales and leadership, she is the founder of Heritage Leadership Consulting and the visionary behind the Oz Experience and the Emerald Code. Breakthrough frameworks that have helped undervalued professionals lead with confidence, clarity, and connection. I love that. She is not here to fix broken systems. Come on, let me tell you that again. She is not here to fix broken systems. But what she is here to do is equip the ones who have been silenced by them. That's powerful. A 3-time Amazon best-selling author, 2025 Entrepreneur of the Year, woo! 2-time author of distinction, Forbes Black member, and recipient of the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. Come on, sis. Dr. Brackens has been featured in the O magazine. Get you a sister like mine. Spotlighted on the NASDAQ billboard in Times Square. I saw that. I was able to see that. Hallelujah. And celebrated as a voice of change for leaders ready to reclaim their seat at the table. Now, I can keep going about my sister because she is all the things. But how many know when you're truly walking in your purpose, this is what you get? You get kingdom, you get all the authentic, you get all of the true and value, and you get God at the forefront. Amen. And I just love that. So tell the people hello this morning before we get started in our conversation, because I'm ready for some coffee.
God morning. It ain't even good morning. It's God morning. So
God
let's get
morning.
Come
on.
Started right.
Come on. Come on. Come on. It is God morning. Tell the people a little bit about your purpose walk. Let's start there. How did you even tap into your purpose, sis?
First, let me say thank you for this opportunity to be able to pour into your viewers, into your listeners, so that they can be empowered to catapult to their next level of living. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me on your platform and to be able to pour into the people. I don't take it lightly. It truly is an honor. And this taps into purpose, because I'm very strategic. I don't accept everybody's invitation because one, my space is powerful. My space is anointed. My space is gifted. And I'm very clear on being in alignment with those that are in alignment with where I'm going and what I'm doing and what I've been called to do. So again, I say thank you from a very grateful heart for seeing the alignment. I use that word several times, but again, the alignment on that. As far as who I am, who I be, how I came to be, girl, where you want to start?
Girl, listen, you can start from the middle, you can start from the beginning, you can start when the purpose had more impact, the most impact you've seen on this purpose journey. You could talk about all the things. I'm here for it.
So let me start then with how the Workplace Wizard came about. And along this journey, it's going to help you see how I am and how I got clarity upon what it is that I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to serve, and how I'm supposed to help. So I come from a corporate background and a sales background of over 33 years in multi-level marketing in direct sales. And while in direct sales, because I'm going to split this up into two different sides, like one side of the street and the other side of the street, but it's still on the same street. So one side of the street is the direct sales environment that I was in for over 33 years. And while there, I mean, I already knew that I was an amazing leader, that I was great. I just needed guidance. I needed a mentor and I needed a coach. So stepping into that arena, with being there for that extended period of time, I began to look at leaders that were doing exceptionally well, killing the game, just ringing the bell 10, 12, 11 times, 24 times, 100 times, just whatever number you want to put on that. I saw them in their consistency in ringing the bell and winning the prize and exceeding their goals. And I looked at other teams that were mediocrity through mediocrity. Let me say it that way. Just barely getting by. And like, okay, what's the difference between those teams that are doing well and the mediocre teams? And from there, I realized it was the relationships that they had amongst each other, amongst the whole team, and the soft skills, and truly being there for one another, not just this is the goal and let us meet production. It was bigger than that. And that's what the teams that were doing exceptionally well versus those that were just barely getting by. And it's like, okay, there's something to this. And what does that look like? Let's say, okay, we're on the same team, and just so happens our children are in baseball or whatever sports together. I've got an appointment. I can't go pick up my son, my daughter, but yet your son, your daughter is on the same team or in the same vicinity with their particular sport. So since you're going anyway, can you help a sister out and pick up my child too? So one, that means that there has to be a relationship between the two, and two, that it's bigger than you. And we are a collective people. And as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. So if you don't have that support system that can help you, then what good are they in your circle?
Come on.
So, and what good are they? How can I lean on you when I'm in a time of need? So seeing that camaraderie and how they work together in that arena, it's like, there's something to that. And seeing the person as a person and not just as a number for production. So that's a different thing that's there too. So that's on the direct sales side. Going over to corporate America side, those soft skills that I learned from direct sales, they were transferable. So in corporate America, while working at a major airline, at the time it was Continental, so that lets you know how long ago this has been. I worked in the accounts payable department, and through that, my duties were to reconcile credit card statements. Not everything comes through digitally like you would like for it to. It's not clear.
Yeah.
So there would be times when I would have to reach out to whoever the card holder was and say, hey, can you send me another copy? Can you bring me another copy? Whatever the case may be, I'm missing XYZ. And because I transferred those skills from direct sales over into corporate America, I began to build relationships with people that I had to reconcile their cards in the system for. So when they saw my name pop up, one, they already knew what I was calling for, whether you saw it in email or whether you saw it on caller ID. You knew I needed something from you.
Yeah.
But because I took the time to find out about them in passing, hey, you said you were going on vacation or you were going on a trip this weekend. How was that? What, the kids, you said they had some type of recital. How did that turn out? Again, just a small talk and seeing them as a person versus, again, somebody that I'm just here to do a job for, and that you are quote unquote on the team, the extended team. That made a difference. So when they saw my name come up, I got my stuff in a timely manner versus the other people that were on the team, because there wasn't that relationship that was there. It took them a little bit of time to be able to get what it was that they need. So I kind of equate it like this. You've got a great relationship with someone.
Yeah.
You may have a gazillion things on your plate. And now we carry platters as women. We don't carry plates. We carry platters. There's a lot that's going on, a lot of moving parts. So if I ask you to do something because there's a relationship that's there, because I asked you, you're going to try and figure out how to fulfill that favor or what it is that I've asked of you. Versus if there's someone that you don't really have a relationship with, they ask you something, you'll do it because of your character, but the zeal and the energy, the positive energy, let me be clear, because there's energy that's in it. The positive energy in there and the willingness to do it is totally different from that person that I have a relationship with versus the person that I really don't have a relationship with. Again, you'll do it because of your character, but you just won't have the same energy versus the person that you do have a relationship with. So I'm one of those people that I hone in on being an energy giver and not an energy taker. When you leave my space, I want you to feel better about either your situation, whatever it is that we talked about, whatever the case may be. I want you to feel better because our paths have crossed, not be that person's like, oh, here they go. I hate that I ran into them, dreading that they come, or even if it's like in a corporate environment, and I don't necessarily mean corporate America. I mean, as far as an event or what have you, you see that person coming and like, oh Lord, let me go run, Forrest, run in the opposite direction because they're coming, because their energy is off, and you just feeling vibes. You ain't feeling it when they come around, but yet other people that you feel good about, your discernment that's within you, you naturally gravitate towards them. So that's where I come from when it relates to, or as it relates to personal relationships and being an energy giver and not an energy taker.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's so on point for what we're going to talk about, which I know that was already God, because that's just how he flows like that. So what I wanted to ask you is, I'm really excited to ask you about these different things, because I woke up and I started thinking about it when I knew that we were going to have an opportunity for a sit down. He gave me he did title it. He said guarded but gracious. And then learning how to he did. And he says, what does it trying to learn how to protect your heart on the path to purpose? And you came from both sectors. You were in that corporate setting, you were in those type of realms and rooms, and I knew you already knew your purpose then, but how was that, how were you able to navigate through that particular part? So let's start with a different actual point question so that you can run with that. The question
Okay.
is, being purpose driven doesn't mean being people pleasing, right? And you were kind of already on that particular part, but discuss how saying yes to everyone will dilute your yes to God.
Yeah, how much time do we have?
Girl, come on here. It's me and you. Me and you. I want to know. Tell me how that, discuss how saying yes. Because sometimes we could be yesers and we could be people pleasers to all kind of things and stuff that we don't even have no business being into. But saying yes to that particular person, how does that dilute to your yes to God?
Ooh, that is a simple yet deep, deep, deep question.
Yes.
Um, and there are several layers to that for
Mm-hmm.
me. So let's begin with yes. Yes is very powerful. And that is a
Yes.
commitment when you say yes.
Come on.
And when you commit to something, that means that you're not able to give in other ways or in other areas because that
Mm-hmm.
time, that resource
Yeah.
is being spent somewhere else. And when you say no, that also is a commitment, the other side of that
Come
coin.
on.
It means
Yes.
that, as I just said, somebody else is not going to be able to get what it is that they need,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be from you or from the interaction. They're just
Mm-hmm.
going to be lacking. And that may have been a purpose that you were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be connecting with that person.
Mm-hmm.
We sing in church, the Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. I'm so so
Mm-hmm.
easy to love. And since that is
Yeah.
the greatest commandment, and you
Yeah.
never know again what somebody else is going through, and you may be that light, as I said earlier, to help them get over the
Yes.
hump, to help them get through that challenge at the moment. And when you use your discernment, let me turn the corner here. When you
Come on.
use your discernment of knowing what your gifts are,
Mm-hmm.
what your anointing is, that helps you
Mm-hmm.
again with the clarity and the path in which you're able to go.
Yeah.
And you know what, even sometimes your no is a yes. It's an indirect yes,
Mm-hmm.
because your no is empowering whomever you're
Mm-hmm.
telling no to, because they got to go figure it out on how to get it done. So
Mm-hmm.
no is not always a negative thing. Um, and yes is not always a positive thing. It's not
Right.
always
Right.
a positive
Right.
thing. So,
Yes.
you have to have that discernment and that clarity in what it is that you're
Come on.
supposed to be doing. And once you understand that, then your yeses and your nos are easier to give to people, because
Mm-hmm.
it's in the purpose of what's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be done. And
Yeah.
when you operate again in that place, it makes it easier, per
Mm-hmm.
se, to be able
Mm-hmm.
to say yes and to be able to say no. And you mm, and this is where
Come on.
wisdom comes in too.
Mm-hmm.
Carnal wisdom, not
Yeah.
spiritual wisdom, um,
Mm-hmm.
comes into place. Because some people, they just want to pull and get and get and get they can out of you, and
Come
then you're
on.
drained and you can't go do what you need to go do. So you have to have
Yeah.
those boundaries when you're saying yes and when you're saying no. And again, that goes back to clarity and knowing what your purpose is, because what you
Yes.
don't want is for something to come and distract you and get you on a
Come on.
detour, and you start going down a whole nother path, and you have all type of
Mm-hmm.
adversities that you didn't even need to deal with,
Man.
because you weren't clear. You didn't set
Mm-hmm.
those boundaries. You didn't understand your assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you went somewhere else. So I hope that answers your question,
Yes.
gives a little bit of light
Yes.
on my spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this too: the more clarity that you have, the smaller your circles come, and you see things clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
You see things so clear,
Yes, ma'am.
so clear. And I'm just going to leave it
So,
right there.
so, 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 so
The
clear.
scales have been
Yes.
removed from your
From your eyes.
eyes,
Yes.
and you know the right people, you get the right vibes, you get the right energy, the
Come on.
discernment is there. I mean, I hate to use these words redundantly, but it all fits together.
It does.
And no, just like, okay. So let me go back to my old days when I was out there in them streets. And when I say I don't mean bad in them streets, but going to the parties, going to the clubs, that type of thing. And you know, you get an invitation and it's like, yeah, I want to go because I got the invitation. But something hits you and says, you know what? I don't think I need to go to this. I'm just not feeling it right now. You know, you done got all dressed or you getting ready to get, and it's like, you know what? I ain't feeling this. Home and Netflix and chill and you know, have my glass of wine at home or whatever my libation is at home, and let me watch some TV with some popcorn and be content. And then you later find out some foolery went down at the spot that you were supposed to go to.
See?
And that was a hedge of protection because you would have been right in the middle of that, or there was a horrible accident on the way to where you were supposed to be going. And had you been en route, you may have been a part of that accident. And even looking at just that example, when you running late.
Come on. Talk about it. Talk about it.
That can be a hedge of protection as well. Because it's like, dang, if I would have been here 5 minutes earlier, if I would have been here 10 minutes earlier, what could I could have been in that situation. So I'm grateful for the delay and not being there at the time that I needed to.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, this is when I began to actually pursue my purpose for real. And I was like, okay, Lord, I really need to know what you want me to do, where you want me to go. Yeah, I'm this, I'm that, but where's that passion going? You know, where is it taking me? What are we going to do with this? And it's been so many different layers. If I could just pull back a lemon or an orange or an apple and peel those, really just been a journey. And I wouldn't change any of it because it has gotten me in rooms with people that I never would have imagined I would have been in rooms with. And you're one of them. So I thank you for being in my room with me today, because you just don't understand. You are literally purpose driven, and it shows. Your fruit shows. And so this is where I want to ask you. I know we could talk all day long, but I want to ask you this. I want to talk about this because I struggle with this, and I know that you are the person now that can actually really, really help those. And we already talked about that, but I know now God is showing me how it's really, really coming to this point and how you're going to change it. Because see, what I struggled with was trying to figure out my purpose, be my purpose, and walk in my purpose while still being in corporate. I had a fight, I had a tug, I had a pull. And I didn't know what to do. And I was not surrounded with the people with the right energy. Okay. And I didn't have those that actually look like me, walk like me, talk like me, but rather I was singled out. I was the one in the room trying to be the light in the dark places. And then I just began to say, you know what? Okay, Lord, help me navigate this. And that's when he began to show me how to navigate through the noise. But while I was doing that, I started seeing patterns. I started picking up different things from different people over what I thought was supposed to be potential. So I started seeing patterns over potential. I want to know, what kind of lessons have you learned from extending grace to people based on their potential and not their patterns? And what does that look like? Because you're one person I know for sure that knows how to navigate through corporate and personal. So how did you distinguish those patterns over potential? And did they hinder you or did they help you?
So I will start with grow with where you're planted.
Mm-hmm.
Grow with where you're planted. And then I'm going to back that up with Romans 8:28, for all things work together for good.
Come
all
on.
Things. All things. All. It doesn't say just the good things. It doesn't say the bad things. Woo! All is inclusive, and that means everything.
Everything. I like that.
So when you start looking, or at least for me, let me just say me. I'm not here
Come
to
on.
push my views on anybody, but I'm just going to share my experiences. So for me, when I began to look at what are the lessons to be learned versus what the challenge was, then it changed the way that I approach things.
Come on.
And one thing that has stood with me, because I am a PK, and mom told me that there are 3 phases in our prayer life. First, prayer / blessing life. And one is the first being God save me. Okay. And then, and we've had them times when we've been in college, Lord, I swear for God, I'll never do this again. If you just get me out of this situation, whatever your situation
Lord,
was.
I do right.
If you just get me out of this.
Get me out of this, Lord. Yeah.
That part. So, God save me. And then there's the God bless me. And it's like, Lord, I just need XYZ.
Yeah.
Just do this and it can change my situation or whatever again, your situation better than I do. Who am I to tell you what? But you get the gist of it. God bless me. And then that third phase is God use me. And that's where I stand and have been standing for a good minute now. And my prayer daily is, God, send me the people that I need and that need me.
Yeah.
And operating in that space, I'm able, that's part of my GPS. That's my navigation system and how I go about moving. So with holding on to that as my foundation, 10 toes down, as they say, standing on business, whatever words you want to use, with using that as how I move about, how I navigate, then I'm able to see what I need to see from who I need to see and be able to put them in the bucket and know how I need to deal with them accordingly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good, sis. Because when you can get to that particular part, then you actually are guarded but gracious. You actually do know how to protect your heart in and out of rooms. You actually do know how to discern because you've asked for those 3 pivotal points. I love that. And you actually do know how God uses you, the way he uses you, and the impact that he has given to you for the capacity that you need. I love that. I am learning how to be that. You are actually walking in what God has given me in this season. You are literally it. Let me tell you, it's rise in power. Rise in power. You are rising in power. And I see you because that's the way you move. That's the way you are. And I see now it is appointed time. I needed to be able to sit still and receive the power. Come on, I'm gonna help somebody today. I gotta
hold up.
sit still and
You put a
receive it.
whole new meaning in RIP.
Listen. Come on. Yeah.
You put
Rising
a
in
whole
power.
yes.
I hadn't even realized that too, because he's just been revealing more and more and more. But it's rising in power. He's like, what do you want to look like? You knew what you wanted to look like in corporate. You knew what you wanted to look like on it day to day. He says, but what do you want to look like in kingdom? He says, don't you want to look more like me? Won't you put on my attributes, learn my statutes, learn my ways, and then begin to navigate through that? And then you rise and rise and rise because we never know who we're going to meet, but we got to be effective in every cost, no matter where we are, who we are. And we got to adjust to that. And then we got to make the necessary changes. And so I just want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for doing what God has called you to do. Thank you for rising in your power constantly and not being afraid to actually shift when you need to shift and actually guard your posture and keeping your heart protected. That's important because
Yes.
there's no way you can be kingdom and not keep your heart protected. And now you have literally silenced the noise in your mind. And now you're navigating with your heart. And God is opening the eyes of your heart so that you can see him. And I thank you for that, because that takes work. That takes time.
As you were talking, just because music has been a very integral part. And
yes,
when you were talking about moving and leading with your heart, the song that came to me was "Speak to My Heart, Lord. Give
come
me your
on.
holy
Yeah.
word."
Yeah. Send me your
So
word.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh.
Well, I
Then
know
I don't
what to
know what
do.
to do.
Yeah. Come
So,
on. Yeah.
that popped up in me. And if I may
Yes.
do a shameless plug, but it's so
Yes.
timely with what we're talking about right now. And it's actually my 2 books that I
Come on.
have going right now. And the third one, I'm sorry, my allergies are really bothering me right now. Please forgive
Mine
me. I
too.
don't know.
That's why my voice was sounding like that.
Please forgive me.
That's all right.
But anywho,
No,
carrying
fine.
on.
Yes.
My 2 books, first being Power, Privilege, and Humility, Unveiling the Layers
Yes,
of
ma'am.
Leadership Lessons Learned.
Come
And
on.
as I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, this is where I learned what true leadership looks like and
Yes.
how to be the leader that I have been called to be. And,
Yes.
that ties into, as you had, talked about in the intro, as far as seeing those Dorothys that have been unseen and other folks have been
Yes.
overlooked and walked over. So that's what this ties into. And I give some amazing tips and tools
Okay.
to be able to walk through that. But baby, the real deal, Holyfield, this one right here, Bipolar Faith, the roller coaster
Come on.
ride of spiritual resilience and emotional
Yes.
vulnerability. So let me tell you how this here came
Wow.
about.
All the things.
All things, all things. This book actually came about because I was a contributing author in a collaboration project, and my chapter was Bipolar Faith. It
Wow.
remained one of the top 5 chapters, and still does to this day, that's talked about and moving people and people understanding it. So yes, there's
Yes.
DR in front of my name, but it's not a medical nor clinical doctor. So let me be clear when I'm
Come on.
talking about the term bipolar. But I take bipolar as a double-mindedness. We know what
Come on.
word says, but
Yes.
our environment does not reflect what word is. So it's like we do
No.
this double Dutch thing where, okay, I know, but it ain't. I
Yeah.
know, but it ain't. Let me try and
Yeah.
see where I get in, where I fit in. I'm going back and forth
Yeah.
and back and forth. And in my chapter in the collaboration, I have a candid conversation with God.
My God.
Candid, just like I'm talking to you now, is the same type of conversation that I was having with God. And it's like, okay, Lord,
Yeah.
you told me this now. I called him on his word. I didn't question him. I called him on his word because he's not a God that
Yep.
will lie. So,
That's
Lord,
right.
you said this to me, and I
Amen.
believe in that. I'm not feeling it. So I need you to, as I said earlier, bless me and help me along the way. Because this here, I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling you. I'm not straying away from you. But Lord, I'm confused. And
Come
that
on.
double-mindedness was happening and going on. But because I had not truly centered myself in what my true purpose was, I was operating in what I wanted to do, not what
Come
he
on.
wanted me to do. And because of that, he wasn't guiding and per se protecting me and leading me in the way in which I thought I needed to be led.
Yes.
So
Okay. Okay.
in the candid conversations, it's like, okay, Lord, here I am. I'm telling you this. I'm the sleepless nights. I'm crying, and I know joy's supposed to come in the morning, but Lord, this ain't no joy. This ain't no
Come
joy.
on.
This ain't no joy. I go outside of my front door and I'm pouring into people, but yet
Yeah.
I'm literally living a slow death on the inside
Come on. Talk
behind the
about it.
door. I mean, I'm real candid and true and transparent and authentic and unapologetic about this.
Yes.
So, it's like, okay, Lord, you said this, but I ain't feeling you. I ain't seeing you. I ain't hearing you. You ain't showing up for me. Where you at? Your word says you'll never leave me nor forsake me, but hello, Lord, where
I don't
you
see
at?
You. Come on. Yeah.
And I had that round and that bout going with him in these conversations, and he's still quiet.
Wow.
And then once I had the revelation,
come on,
and I got quiet, then that's when he said to me, now you ready. I can use you, and I can now move in the way that Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans and the things that I have in store for you. So now I can do that, but you were not ready for me to be able to do that at the time, because you had all of these other distractions, these other detours, and all this other foolishness, these other people that were in your circle that were not supposed to be in your circle, these people that you let in that weren't supposed to be in, because just like my God, just like Abraham, when he was taking his son up to be a sacrifice, Abraham and Isaac, though he had his crew that was walking with him. But when they got to the bottom of the mountain, he said, we'll get back, because they couldn't handle what the blessing was that was about to be shown as far as the man for the sacrifice. So people can only go with you so far. And once the blessing has been done, they see the remnants of the blessing.
Yes. Come on. That's it.
They couldn't handle while the blessing was being matured.
That part. Yeah. That's a good one. That's good.
So that's what this bipolar faith is about, the ups and downs that we have. And baby, when I tell you, God literally just showed up and showed out in that as I was writing it, it was like, Lord, this started preaching to myself. I know my story, but it started preaching to me as I was continuing.
That's how you do it.
Come on now. And then that actually, so like a culmination of both of these is where my new book that I'm looking to launch within the next couple of weeks or so, just about done with it, which is the Emerald Code. And that goes back to leadership. Because if you want to be real clear and honest, if you want to talk about some leadership lessons, they are all throughout the Bible.
Yeah.
All types of leadership lessons, good and bad. So I had to have these two to talk about leadership, the spiritual side. So they're about to have a baby called the Emerald Code, which ties into the Oz experience and how all of that has been developed and Oz experience. So that actually comes from the Wiz, as you see behind me, and the Dorothy's that you talk about. One of my favorite stories as a child, and still to this day, I will sit and watch it like I've never seen it before, and The Color Purple. But right now we're talking about the Wiz. Dorothy she's the visionary, and she has a team of the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man, and they have to work together. Remember, I talked earlier as far as the direct sales side of where I come from. They have to work together in order to accomplish a goal, which is to see the wizard. So there's some personal development that happens within that, and there's some team development that happens within that. And just the leadership things that I saw as that progressed throughout the story is what I'm tapping into. And I firmly believe that when you simplify things, that it makes it easier to digest. It becomes more palatable. And if it's more palatable, then it's more memorable. And once it's more memorable, then it becomes executable. Because what good does it do to get all of this info and you do absolutely nothing with it? So coming from the corporate America side, we've been to those lunch and learns and all of those different trainings and what have you, where all we really do is, okay, let me go to this because they say I got to do it. Let me check it off my to-do list, but I don't do anything with it once I leave the door, the parameters, that environment. So now I'm giving you something that's very palatable and tangible that you can go out and execute, that will be very, very simple to use once you leave my presence, once you leave the doors, once you leave the building, of getting those tools to be able to understand about true leadership and about relationships and soft skills. So that's how all of that comes together.
That is so amazing. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. And the fact that you're not done yet.
No.
Lord. She gonna keep rising in power. They gonna probably think that's our episode today because I done said it so many times. But it's just all the things. And I love God. I love him. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming into the space, coming into the room, and navigating through the room with me with this, and making sure that we actually know it's okay and it is good. We could be guarded, but we could be gracious. And all the things that we know how to do, it does not change because you're in corporate or working over in kingdom. It's the same. You just begin to know who you are and you can navigate in either room. So I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that you're blossoming and blooming and God is giving you. I only know one other young lady that actually, where God is giving them something. I want to say carnal, but I mean, to the natural eye. Let me say that, to the natural eye. And then you bring it over into the spiritual realm where you begin to see all the things that go into it. And I just love that he's giving you that. Thank you for that particular being able to see inside the eyes like that. I will never see that movie again the same ever. Okay, I'm going to see it through the lens of Dr. Taijiri, and I'm going to be able to open up my mind, and I'm going to be able to see that workplace wizard so different now. So I want you to tell me how you are going to how do you want the people to keep up with you? Tell them how they can keep in contact you, follow you, all the things before we get up out of here.
I'll make it very simple. Just simply go to my website, which is dr-tajiri, tajiri.com. Again, that's dr-tajiri.com. From there, you'll be able to keep up with what's going on in the Oz experience with the Workplace Wizard. You'll see all of my social media handles. You can go ahead and subscribe to get on the newsletter so you can stay connected. And that's just going to be the easiest way to do it. I'm not trying to give you all of my Facebook name, my this, that. Look, once you go to my website, you click on Facebook, you're going to find it. It's going to take you right there.
I love it. Simplicity, but yet firm, and it's going to actually do all the things it needs to do. I love it.
Yes.
I love it, sis.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. To all the viewers, to my family, I call you family. Thank you for hanging in with us. I know you were blessed because I was blessed. Don't fake the front. Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Put it in the comments. Make sure that you share this broadcast with someone because they are literally needing it. It's something that they're needing. They may not even know what they have in need of, but God does. So if you feel led to share, please share this so that they can get what they need for their season that they're navigating. And you know what I always say? Make sure you keep your purpose in front of you and don't ever put it down. Just keep walking in it, keep showing up, and let God be God. And all you got to do is just say yes and amen. Make your yes, yes, and your no, no. And make sure you guard your heart in all things. I love you with the love of the Lord. And I'll see you back next week. Peace.